When Josh Krajcik stepped onto the stage of the X Factor USA, no one in the audience could have guessed what was about to happen. He looked like an ordinary man, dressed simply, his hair a bit messy, holding a guitar in one hand and his confidence hidden behind a shy smile. The judges watched curiously, waiting to see if this man, who seemed like a regular guy from Ohio, could actually deliver something worth remembering. There was a silence in the room, a kind of anticipation that fills the air before something unexpected happens. And then he spoke. His voice was calm and humble as he introduced himself, saying he was a burrito maker by profession. The audience chuckled softly, and even the judges smiled politely. No one was ready for the magic that was about to unfold. When the music began, and Josh started to sing, at last, everything changed. His deep, soulful voice filled the entire hall, and it was like time had stopped for a moment. The judges froze, the crowd fell silent, and every note he sang hit straight to the heart. It wasn't just a song anymore. It was emotion turned into sound. His voice carried pain, experience, and beauty all at once. People who had come expecting another average audition were now witnessing something special. You could see the expressions on the judges' faces transform from polite interest to shock and admiration. Simon Cowell, known for his sharp remarks, raised his eyebrows in disbelief. Nicole Scherzinger's eyes widened as if she couldn't believe what she was hearing. L.A. Reid leaned forward, completely captivated by the performance. Josh's voice was raw, real, and powerful. He didn't need fancy lights or backup dancers. His voice alone was enough to hold the entire room. He sang with his eyes closed, lost in the moment, letting every note tell a story that words never could. The audience sat quietly for a few seconds before the applause broke out like thunder. People stood up, cheering, clapping, and screaming his name. That's when Josh opened his eyes, and for a second, he looked overwhelmed, as if he himself couldn't believe what just happened. It was more than just a good performance. It was a reminder of why people fall in love with music in the first place. The song At Last is a classic, but in that moment, it became Josh's story. He turned it into a confession of everything he had ever felt and dreamed of. Behind that voice was a lifetime of working hard, struggling, and dreaming. He wasn't a celebrity or a trained superstar. He was a man who made burritos during the day and sang from his soul at night. That honesty, that simplicity, is what connected him to millions of viewers around the world. The clip of his audition went viral almost instantly. People couldn't stop talking about the man who came from nowhere and touched hearts everywhere. Social media exploded with comments, admiration, and tears. Viewers said his performance gave them chills, that it reminded them what true talent sounds like. For the judges, it was one of those rare moments where they all agreed without saying a word. When the final note faded, Simon looked at Josh and smiled, something he rarely did. He knew he had just witnessed something extraordinary. Nicole stood up to clap, and her voice trembled when she said, "That was incredible." Josh looked down humbly, smiling like a man who finally felt seen. The entire atmosphere in the studio changed. It wasn't just entertainment anymore. It was inspiration. Josh Krajcik's audition wasn't about perfection. It was about emotion. The small cracks in his voice made the performance even more human. He wasn't just singing At Last. He was living it. Every word sounded like it came from a place deep inside his heart, a place only true artists can reach. That's why people still remember that performance years later. It wasn't just another audition. It was a turning point in his life. From that moment, Josh was no longer the man who made burritos. He became the man who moved the world with his voice. The beauty of his story lies in its simplicity. A normal guy walked in, and within a few minutes, he changed how people saw him forever. His story became proof that talent doesn't need glamour. You don't need to be famous to be great. You just need to be brave enough to share your truth through your art. Josh did exactly that. His courage and authenticity made his performance unforgettable. Even after the show ended, people kept replaying that moment. New fans discovered him every day, drawn to his soulful tone and pure honesty. There's something about his presence that feels real in a world where so many things are staged. His journey inspired others to chase their dreams, no matter how ordinary their lives seemed. Because at the end of the day, that's what art is about, turning the ordinary into something extraordinary. Every time you watch that video, you can feel the same rush of emotion. The lights, the silence before he sings, the reaction of the judges. It all plays like a perfect story of redemption and discovery. Josh Krajcik didn't just perform. He told his life story in 3 minutes. His voice became a symbol of hope for dreamers who feel unnoticed. It's a reminder that sometimes the most amazing people are hidden in the most unexpected places. His song, At Last, became a moment of truth. It wasn't just about love or music. It was about finding your place in the world. It was about finally being recognized for what you were meant to do. When he sang the words, At Last, you could feel that it wasn't just the lyrics, it was his life speaking. After years of waiting, working, and hoping, that was his moment. And the world listened. Millions watched, shared, and talked about his voice. People from different countries who had never met him felt connected to his story. That's what real music does. It breaks boundaries and reaches hearts. Josh's performance was more than just a competition entry. It was art, raw and alive. Long after the applause faded, his name stayed in people's minds. Josh Krajcik became a symbol of what can happen when talent meets opportunity. He reminded everyone watching that it's never too late to shine, never too late to dream, and never too late to believe in yourself. That's why his performance on The X Factor remains one of the most unforgettable moments in music television. He came on stage as a stranger, but he left as a star. Not because of fame or glamour, but because of truth. His voice told a story everyone could feel. A story of hope, passion, and believing in yourself when no one else does. And that is what made Josh Krajcik's At Last performance not just a song, but a story that will live on forever.